Hi there, and welcome to my Project 3 extra credit video. So for my project, my idea was a mission to go from Boulder, Colorado to LA in order to save like a hostage friend who'd been picked up by a different gang. So along the way, you have to travel 1,028 miles, and once you reach the position, or once you reach LA, you have to have $2,500 in order to save him. Otherwise, the mission will be failed. So in a lot of ways, it's similar to Oregon Trail because I wanted to hit that difficulty level of it and the complexity of Oregon Trail. So I use a lot of ideas from Oregon Trail just with a GTA, Grand Theft Auto kind of twist on them. So when I first started, my approach to this was I knew I was gonna have to get like my menu and every like idea I wanted for the mission that could happen along the side of it down on this text file. So I really started with a large text file to get everything down and kind of went through the Oregon Trail menu or Oregon Trail outline to kind of get some of the ideas and put a twist on them so that I was still hitting that complexity level. My next kind of approach after I had all that down was to get these files down or these classes down. So I had a guns class, cars class, my driver where most of my functions are, player, squad, and store. So for most of these, I had to just get down what would be in the cars class, what would be in the guns class. And then I had the good idea of maybe read these from a cars text file so that when I was done with the game, I could change the price and miles traveled. And for the gun, I could change the price and the damage very easily, or even the names if I wanted to. So I found that very easy once I was done with the project, or like done coding most of the project to change the difficulty level through these text files. And through that, it would read through this for loop, getting the line and setting it and setting each of the object or each of the classes I had in an array down here, which worked out really well because then I could just access them through my driver class and set it to the available gun that I had. So I found that very easy to do, or a very nice way to do that. So the main thing with the approach was getting all these down written on paper first to see what I needed in each of these classes, and then really just getting the implementations before I started my driver, because the driver is where most of the coding went down with my all the different things for street race or whatever option the user could pick. This is where it happened. So in this class was took most of the implementation, as the other ones had a lot of just setters and getters, and this one had a lot of implementation functions to actually interact with the user. And while most of the cars, guns, player, squad, and store were just backgrounds that were used in this and didn't really interact with the player as much. So to kind of get started, let me compile it and just show you a demonstration of my working project. So it'll first ask for your name, so we'll just input that really quick. And I used get lines for all of these so that you could put whatever you want in and kind of catch some user error in case they were trying to put in a first and last name. I didn't want them to like fail that or not be able to if they wanted to. So I really made sure to use get lines everywhere because I found it difficult if you try to mix get lines and CNs as well. That took a lot of my debugging time. So it outputs the menu, and then you'll first go to the store before you really see anything else. So you can go to the store, and if they input it for most of my, or for all of my options where the user inputs, it will catch if they put in an invalid input and run through again. So I put in 12 and it wasn't 1 through 6 in the store, so it'll input again. And then as far as these, the price of swag will go up if you buy swag. The price of medkit will go up if you buy swag or medkits by a certain percentage, and the price of bullets will go up just to make the difficulty as the game goes on. When the player is getting more money, they won't have as good of an option to, they won't have as good of a chance to be able to buy the things they had when they had less money. So just buy a Glock really quick and it'll run through and it'll run to the make purchase Glock function I had. That will then assign the player the gun that they chose. So it'll player.set gun. And that was very simple way to just give that player the ability to then use player.get gun name, player.get damage, and then could use store.get price of the gun that they chose to purchase to decrease that from their balance. So now I only have $300. So they'll exit. And then here's the menu, and it'll output a bunch of stats. Output a bunch of stats like miles left to LA, swag, money, Prius, bullets owned, and your team members. So then you can kind of base that off what you want to do. And you could try and travel the maximum distance, which may be smart if you have enough money, but you'll run into opportunities like this where there's a percent chance based off of based off based off this chance. So it'll be a percent chance based off this algorithm that you'll run into the cops. So you can't just make a run for it and just continue traveling because you won't have enough money because the cops will pull you over and they'll take your stuff and then they'll put you in jail and you won't be able to make it in time. So that's kind of the main thing of the game. You have to balance out traveling enough distance and having enough money when you get there. And you always have the option to quit. So if you quit, you'll give up on your friend and then it'll write to this in-game stats function. It'll say reason, quit, your final money, how many miles you had left until you would have made it. So I'm out of time. I appreciate you watching my video.